Today, let's go for a very simple beginner to intermediate planche and front lever workout. So we're going to go between a planche position, whatever that is for you in terms of the intensity, in terms of the progression, and a front lever position. So I'm now demonstrating both the easy positions, should we say, but it takes a while to get this position, so the tuck. So we're looking to get the hip and the shoulder in line with each other. The cool thing with the front lever and the planche is they're exactly the same as each other, they're just flipped over. And like I say, that beginner goal is just to get the shoulders in line with each other. And then the goal for most people is to progressively extend the body out until we reach the magical full position. Now the cool thing is, planche and front lever is relatively simple to train, but it just takes thousands and thousands of repetitions and lots of time under tension in the correct positions. So let's make the workout really simple. Let's just do a warm-up set. Now you might need one or two of these. And here we're gonna do some long holds, 15 to 20 seconds. So 1 to 2 of those. So for my level, I'm gonna be doing a tuck planche. So I'm just gonna be holding this position for the time. So I can do this for around 30 seconds if I max out, but 15 to 20 seconds is really comfortable. Exactly the same for the front lever position. The only difference is for most people, if not everyone, the front lever is easier. So I can go to more of an advanced tuck position. So now I'm not in this tight position, I'm more in this position, and I can hold here comfortably for my warm-up set. So obviously the level, the position you open out to for these times is going to be different for everyone depending on your level, your progression, and your training history. If you can't do that position that I was just demonstrating, so you don't have this initial tuck planche position, we have a few options. We can do this exact same position, but with toe assist. So I can just put something on the floor, especially if I'm using raised P-bars like this, and have a toe assist there to help me. Still exactly the same thing. I'm focusing on protraction, so rounding that upper back, pushing the bars or the floor away. We could be doing this on the floor, and making sure my upper back is rounded. We don't want to see our shoulder blades. We want to be rounded in that position. Or another alternative is to go for a planche lean. So exactly the same scapula, shoulder blade position, rounding that upper back, turning the hands out. But now I'm focusing on having more of a straight line between the shoulders and the feet, but I've obviously got my toes on the floor. To make that harder, I can lean further forwards. And that planche lean exercise is still really good for any level as a part of their warm-up, or even do some working sets there and really lean forwards as far as you can while maintaining that protraction. Then once we've done our warm-up sets, we just need to do our working sets. Now this is where we need to pick a time. So a time, how long are we going to hold these positions? And the time is going to dictate the sets, because we're looking for total time under tension. So if I go for a low time, like 4 seconds, I'm gonna need to do something like 10 to 12 sets. But if I pick a higher time, like 8 seconds, I'd probably go around 6 to 8 sets. And if I go 10 to 12 second holds, I'd probably bring down to 4 to 6 sets. And obviously that depends on training history and how much volume your body can take and what other exercises you're doing. And bear in mind, I'm also gonna add in a fun finisher, which is band assist. So depending on the volume we choose here will affect this. So let's do some examples and work around this 4 to 6 second hold time. So now I'm going to go into my planche. I've just done my warm-up sets, 1 to 2. I'm now going to try and open the body out a little bit further, but only hold now for around 4 to 6 seconds. So I know I can push this a little bit more now. So I might go to more of an advanced froggy tuck position. Hold there for 4 to 6. Then go into my front lever. Exactly the same. Now I know I can wind this up even more, so more of an extended frog position, 4 to 6 seconds. But I could hold it anywhere here, thinking that the lever arm makes it harder. So the longer I go in that direction, or the further I extend the legs out, the harder it's going to be. If I don't hold for the required time, on the next set I need to make it slightly easier. But do bear in mind it takes around 4 to 5 sets to fully warm up into a planche position or a front lever, where you'll probably peak. So you might want to play around with these positions slightly as you warm up, as you get more used to it, and as you test how strong you are on a particular day. Some days you're going to be able to open more, some days you just need to pull it back in. And if you do start to drop, so say you plan to do 8 seconds, but you start dropping to 6 seconds, you're probably going to need to add a couple more sets on to get your total time under tension. So then I would just keep doing the sets, exploring your positions, pushing the limits without breaking the time 2 sets in a row. So if 1 set you break the time, mean you don't get the whole time. So say I'm going for 4 to 6 seconds, but I'm going to be too crazy. Let me try advanced straddle position, so more of an open hip straddle. One that I can't really hold, but let's see what happens. See if I can get 4 seconds minimum. No, to say there I got around 2 seconds and the position wasn't great. I now know on my next set I need to make it slightly easier and pull back. So maybe I'll do something like a more of a closed hip straddle or frog position, something like this. So slightly easier to hold, not such a good position in terms of flat hip and clean position, but I'm prioritizing the hold time to get that time under tension. Exactly the same with the front lever. Now let's push the limit on this one. I'll try a full planche for 4 to 6 seconds. I'm going to cheat a little bit by having a little bit of a false grip position, get my hand more on top of the bars. No, see the hip drop down. So that was too hard for me to get that 4 to 6 seconds with any type of quality. And for me, I could feel that my hip was dropping. So what I want to do now is do something where I can have an open hip, and the one that focuses the most on the open hip position, but still very challenging, is the half lay. So let's see if I can get 4 to 6 seconds in half lay. So that means open hip, but closed knees. So yes, that was a little bit better. But as always, video yourself from the side on all these movements. Watch the video back between sets, or definitely between sessions, so you can see what you're actually doing instead of what you think you're doing. Okay, then once we've hit our sets, let's have some fun. So I'm going to call the band assist the fun. This is where we can explore some positions that we can't normally get to by controlled cheating using a band. Now I'm going to use this band, and I'm also adding an extra cheat by lowering the bars to this height. So higher the attachment point, the more stretch you're going to get, the more assistance you're going to get. I like to set this up so roughly my hands are directly underneath the band, and then I walk backwards this way because I want it to pull me up towards protraction. I'm not a fan of doing it this way round when I've got help there because it's pulling me back in the opposite direction. I want the energy going forwards into my upper back, mimicking how it is when I don't use the band. So band around the hips, and then I'm just going to go for a set time again, but now with band assist, so it's going to be slightly easier. So let's try that straddle planche again. I'll try to get on the other bars and see if I can hold for that 4 to 6 seconds. Which I can. So now I could do maybe another 3 to 5 sets of 4 to 6 second holds with band assist. Same thing, if it gets too hard and I can't get to the position I want to, or I can't hold position for time, I can either go to an easier position, or I can make the band thicker, or the length of the band to the attachment point to my hips longer. Exactly the same with the band on the front lever. We're going to help ourselves round the hips, or more with this one round the butt cheeks. You don't want to have it too much on the hips because it'll tend to ride up, get closer to your shoulders and not really help you much. So you want it on the hips. I'm cupping it over the hands like this as well. That way it's nice and easy to get into it. Now notice with the front lever, I am using a lower bar. If you use a high bar to do your front lever, you have to then pull into the position. So if I want to go into front lever, I have to pull up, which then uses a lot more energy. It's not wrong, but doing it on a lower bar is going to give you more time in the front lever itself and not use that but energy on the entry. A good way of setting this up in like a normal gym is to just put a barbell across a squat rack or lock the Smith machine off at a certain height. So cup that over so my thumbs are sticking out, so underneath the butt cheeks. Get the other side of the bar. Same thing. Let's see if we can get full front lever now. I think we can. So I could argue that that is now too easy if I'm aiming for 4 to 6 seconds. So I could either increase the time or make the band thinner, so less assistance. Now the gap with a lot of people is actually knowing which progression they should be doing for the required time and whether that progression is correct in terms of their technique. So you might need someone to check your technique or form on that. If you've got someone local who can actually have a look at you in person while you're doing it, that's probably the best way of doing it. Or video yourself and reach out to an online coach, whether it's me or someone else. I have my options on my website, www.paultwyman.com.au, and I have my app as well. Let me know down below if you have any questions. Thumbs up and subscribe would be appreciated, and I'll speak to you in the next one.